For this video, we're going to be moving on to our second part of the workbook, using functions. For this using functions video, we're going to be introduced to using Excel's built-in functions. So when we talk about built-in functions for now, we're going to be looking at the AutoSum option, which is a pre-built-in function allowing us to select our basic functions quickly and easily. So to do this, let us click on the hyperlink taking us to using functions. So the first part we're going to do is using a function to average our numbers. So we're going to use Excel's average function to find the average of the following numbers: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through to 10. So to do this, we're going to use this pre-built-in block here. So we want to find the average. Because we're going to be using the AutoSum functions, which allows us to find answers quickly and easily without remembering the formulas, we're going to select that block. And up here, we're going to come to our AutoSum function. It's found on the Home tab, up here in AutoSum, or found in our Formulas bar over here. But for now, I'm just going to use this one under the Home tab. So I'm going to select this drop-down option here, and we want to find the average. So I'm going to do that. So our pre-built-in formula has been inserted, and we're going to be typing within the brackets. So as you can see now, it says average, and within the first bracket it's got number 1 in bold, so that is the first number we're going to be putting in, which is 0. Now if you have a look in this block down here, it shows us how the order of operation works. Alright, so because number 1 is bold, my next thing to do is to add that semicolon. For my version of Excel, it is a semicolon. For some, it's going to be a comma. It all depends on your version of Excel that you are using. The quickest way to find out which to use, whether it's a comma or a semicolon, is to look at this info bar down here. So I'm just going to carry on adding the information all the way up to 10. Alright, so now that I've got the numbers from 0 through to 10, okay, I can now press enter. But if you have a look here and take note that it is showing all numbers that I've inserted the 11th number, I can insert a 12, and these ellipses right here at the end state that this can carry on forever and ever. Now that I've added that number 10, all I do is press my enter key, and there we go. The average has been found. So that is how to find an average using the AutoSum function. So the next one we're going to be looking at is using references instead of hard typed values. So this option here that we did is we typed in values that we want. Okay. The next option we're going to be looking at is using a reference. So this block here is reference B15. Okay, if you're unsure on what the reference number is, if you just select a block and look up here under the name box, that tells you what the reference is, or the area. So we're going to be using this table here of monthly bills to find our answers down here. So we want to use the max, min, average, sum, and count functions on the monthly expenses data provided below to answer the questions in the table. So the important thing to make note of is functions can take reference to cells as values instead of typing the value for each of the bills. You can select the entire range. This generates a reference that the function uses to access the values contained in the cell. So that means we can select the range instead of typing in 4,000, 1,000, 1,500, all the way down. Okay, so the first one is we want to count the maximum bills, or we want to know what the maximum bill cost was. So if we come up to our AutoSum function, we select our drop down and we choose our max option, okay, because that's the maximum. Right, and we're going to start and select the 4,000, and holding my mouse button down, I'm going to drag it down to the last one, and then I'm going to press my enter key. There we go. Our bill has been found. Our maximum bill, the maximum costed, was our rent at 4,000. The next one we're going to look at is our minimum. So AutoSum minimum, and then I'm going to select up here. Okay. Our lowest bill was 900 Rand. Average bill cost, so we're going to look at an average function. To give you an idea, this is the key areas that we're going to be looking at. Average, I'm going to select our range, Okay, so our average bill cost was R1,771.43. Sum, when we look at a sum, is the total amount we've spent on our costs or our expenses. So in total, we spent 12,400 Rand. And then the last one is count. So where sum is adding the cost of all the bills together, the count counts how many bills we've had to pay. So I choose count numbers and I select my range. And in total, we have done 7 bills. So this is how you go about using the AutoSum function to answer quick and easy information. In the next video, we're going to look and understand references far better.